Imagine a world where glittering wealth masks a restless heart, where duty clashes with dreams, and where love dares to defy a city's sharpest judgments. In the dazzling chaos of New York City, Amira Hassan is born into a life most can only dream of, yet her soul yearns for something money can't buy. Caught between family expectations and her own burning desires, she embarks on a journey that takes her from Manhattan's penthouses to Paris's cobblestone streets, only to face heartbreak, secrets, and a love that could either save or shatter her. Will Amira find the courage to trust her heart against a world of whispers? Can love truly bridge the chasms of wealth, status, and doubt? Follow her gripping tale from its sparkling start to its transformative end, a story of passion, betrayal, and redemption that will leave you questioning what true wealth really means. Dive in and let Amira's journey captivate you until the very last page. In the pulsing heart of New York City, where skyscrapers glittered like ornaments against the December sky, and the air hummed with the anticipation of Christmas, Amira Hassan was born into a world of unimaginable wealth. Her childhood unfolded in a penthouse overlooking Central Park, where chandeliers cast rainbows across marble floors and every whim was met with extravagance. Yet, beneath the polished surface of her life, a quiet ache took root in Amira's heart, a longing for meaning beyond the opulence that defined her existence. As a girl, she would slip away to the family's private library, a haven of towering shelves and ancient maps. There, her hazel eyes would dance with wonder as she devoured stories of distant lands, of poets and wanderers who lived not for wealth, but for passion. Each page fanned the embers of a dream to step beyond the gilded cage of her family's legacy and discover a life driven by her own heart. But dreams, however bright, were weighed down by duty. Amira's father, Khalid, a titan in the tech industry, watched her curiosity with a complex gaze, pride mingled with unease. He feared the world beyond their empire might steal his heir, diluting the legacy he'd built. Her mother, Noor, was gentler, but no less resolute, clinging to traditions that had preserved their family's prominence for generations. From childhood, Amira was betrothed to Sami, her cousin and closest confidant. They had grown up side by side, sharing secrets and laughter, but their bond was one of friendship, not love. When their eyes met, there was a silent pact and understanding that the love expected of them was a construct, not a flame. Love should spark on its own, Amira would think, her heart twisting with guilt as Sami's smile faltered, never quite reaching his eyes. Yet, out of respect for the traditions that bound her family's empire, she remained silent, her dreams buried beneath the weight of expectation. As the years slipped by, the walls of duty grew taller. By the time Amira turned 20, the impending marriage to Sami felt like a noose tightening with each passing day. On a snowy Christmas Eve, as the city glowed with holiday lights and carolers sang below her penthouse, Amira made a decision that would change her life. She announced her plan to study art history in Paris, a choice that sent shockwaves through her family. Noor wept, her hands trembling, as she clutched Amira's arm, fearing her daughter would be seduced by a foreign world. Khalid, though reluctant, saw a glimmer of opportunity. Perhaps Paris could sharpen Amira's mind for the family business. Before she left, Amira stood before Sami, his face a mask of resignation and faint hope. She searched his eyes for a spark, a reason to stay, but found only the same uncertainty that gnawed at her own heart. With a lump in her throat, she boarded a plane, the city's festive glow fading beneath her, replaced by the promise of freedom. In Paris, Amira came alive. She threw herself into her studies, soaking up the beauty of Renaissance paintings and the grit of modern street art. Her classmates, hailing from every corner of the globe, taught her the value of hard work and the richness of a life unbound by wealth. She traded designer gowns for thrift store finds, learned to savor simple pleasures like a warm croissant on a chilly morning, and felt her soul expand with each new discovery. But in her final year, tragedy struck like a bolt from a clear sky. Sami and his father, visiting her in Paris, were lost when their plane vanished over the Atlantic. The news hit Amira like a winter gale, stripping the warmth from her world. For weeks, she wandered Paris's cobblestone streets, her footsteps heavy with grief, her heart searching for answers in a life that suddenly felt hollow. In those dark days, she resolved to stay in Paris, burying herself in her work as an art curator, building a life far from the pain that awaited her in New York. Years passed, and Amira carved out a name for herself in the art world, her exhibitions drawing crowds from across Europe. Yet, destiny had other plans. On a crisp autumn day, as the leaves turned gold, she received word that her father had fallen gravely ill. Without hesitation, she boarded a flight back to New York, arriving just as the city began its annual transformation for Christmas. The streets were alive with the scent of roasted chestnuts and the twinkle of holiday lights, but Amira's heart was heavy. At her father's bedside, Khalid, his voice weak but resolute, entrusted her with the family's tech empire. With tears in her eyes and a heart steeled by duty, Amira accepted, stepping into a role she had once fled. Returning to New York felt like waking from a long dream. The city had evolved, its skyline sharper, its energy more frenetic, but the familiar glow of Christmas decorations stirred memories of her youth. Amira threw herself into her work, learning the intricacies of algorithms and corporate negotiations. Long nights at the office became her refuge, filling the void left by her father's passing. It was during one such night, as snow dusted the city and the office hummed with quiet, that she met Liam Carter, a security guard with eyes as blue as a winter sky and a smile that warmed the sterile corridors. Liam was different kind, thoughtful, with a quiet strength that belied his modest role. Their first encounter was brief, a polite exchange as he checked her ID, but his gentle humor lingered in Amira's mind like a melody. Over time, their interactions grew. Amira found excuses to linger at the security desk, trading small talk that soon deepened into conversations about art, poetry, and dreams. She learned that Liam, 28, and raised in Brooklyn, had a passion for literature and a dream of becoming a teacher. He spoke of his mother, a retired school teacher who had sacrificed everything to give him a better life, and of his love for simple moments, a walk in the park, a dog-eared book, a quiet coffee shop. In Liam, Amira found a kindred spirit, someone who saw her not as an heiress, but as a woman with a heart full of hopes and fears. Their connection grew swiftly, like a poinsettia blooming in the winter chill. Amira would slip away from board meetings to meet Liam in Central Park, where they'd skate under the stars or share hot cocoa on a frost-kissed bench, the city's holiday magic weaving a spell around them. Liam didn't care for her wealth. He cherished their quiet talks, the way her laughter lit up the night like a string of Christmas lights. 6 months later, on a radiant Christmas morning, as the Rockefeller Center tree sparkled with 1,000 lights, Amira proposed to Liam. They stood beneath the tree, the air crisp with promise, and she spoke from her heart, no ring or grand gesture, just words trembling with sincerity. "Liam, you've shown me what home feels like. Will you be mine forever?" Tears glistened in his eyes as he whispered, "Yes," sealing their promise with a kiss that tasted of hope and eternity. The news of their engagement spread through New York's elite like wildfire. Noor, Amira's mother, received it with a frosty silence, her lips pursed in disapproval. High society buzzed with gossip, their whispers sharp as icicles. A security guard? They sneered. She's throwing away her legacy. Despite the opposition, Amira and Liam married in a ceremony that blended Manhattan's grandeur with the simplicity Liam cherished. Beneath a canopy of fairy lights, with the city aglow in Christmas spirit, they exchanged vows, their love a beacon in the winter night. Yet, even in that moment of joy, a shadow of doubt crept into Amira's heart, sown by the venomous words of those who questioned Liam's intentions. The first months of marriage were a dream woven with starlight. Amira woke each morning to Liam's gentle touch, his laughter filling their loft with warmth. They explored the city together, discovering hidden bookstores in the village, cozy cafes in Soho, and secret corners of Central Park where the world felt far away. Liam had a gift for turning ordinary moments into treasures, a shared glance over a steaming mug, a quiet walk through snow-dusted streets, a whispered poem under the glow of a street lamp. But the whispers of society grew louder, their venom seeping into Amira's mind like a slow poison. At holiday galas, she noticed the sidelong glances, the conversations that hushed when she approached. Noor's cold politeness toward Liam cut deeper than any words, her disapproval a silent blade. One evening, after a particularly tense Christmas dinner, at her mother's Upper East Side mansion, Amira felt her trust waver. Liam had been quiet, his eyes avoiding hers, his answers clipped. Could Noor be right? She wondered, her heart clenching. Is he here for my money, my name? The seed of doubt, once planted, grew with alarming speed. Amira began to notice things she'd overlooked: Liam's discomfort when she gifted him a designer watch, his wistful glances toward the humbler parts of the city. Did he feel trapped in her world of luxury? Was he hiding something? Her fears deepened when Clara, her trusted assistant, approached her with a hesitant whisper. "I've seen Liam visiting a rundown apartment in Brooklyn," Clara said, her eyes darting nervously. "It's not the kind of place you'd expect." The words struck Amira like a shard of ice, her mind spinning with dark possibilities. Was Liam hiding a secret life? A lover? A betrayal? The thought tormented her, stealing her sleep and clouding her days with suspicion. Unable to confront Liam directly, torn between the fear of betrayal and the dread of wounding him unjustly, Amira made a desperate choice. Using her resources, she crafted a disguise, a wig to darken her hair, glasses to mask her features, and a cab driver's uniform to blend into the city's chaos. She would follow Liam, driving through the snowy streets to uncover the truth herself. On a bitter December evening, as the city sparkled with holiday cheer, Amira's heart pounded like a drum. From the driver's seat of a borrowed taxi, she watched Liam leave their loft, his face etched with a concern she hadn't noticed before. Her hands trembled on the wheel as she followed him to a Brooklyn subway station, then tailed him through the borough's quieter streets. The cab's heater hummed softly, but it couldn't warm the chill in her bones. Finally, Liam stopped at a modest building, its paint peeling, its windows dim against the festive glow of the neighborhood. He entered, and Amira's breath caught, her heart in her throat. She expected to see a stranger, perhaps a lover from his past, a secret that would shatter her world. Instead, an elderly woman, frail and leaning on a walker, opened the door. Her face lit up with a radiant smile as Liam embraced her gently, his hand steadying her trembling frame. The sight was a dagger to Amira's heart, not of betrayal, but of shame. Her suspicions crumbled like snow under the sun, replaced by a flood of remorse. Unable to stay hidden, she shed her disguise, her hands shaking as she approached the building. Liam turned, his eyes widening with shock and fear. "Amira?" he whispered, his voice breaking. The elderly woman looked between them, her brow furrowed in confusion. With tears streaming down her face, Amira listened as Liam explained. The woman was his mother, Ellen, a retired schoolteacher who had worked tirelessly to raise him alone. She had asked Liam to keep her existence a secret, fearing her humble background would be a burden in Amira's glittering world. "I could never be ashamed of you," Ellen said, her voice trembling as she gripped her walker, her eyes meeting Amira's with quiet dignity. Amira fell to her knees, sobs racking her body, her hands clutching Liam's. "I'm so sorry," she choked out, her voice thick with regret. "I let their words poison me." Liam knelt beside her, his arms enveloping her, their tears mingling in the cold night air. "I love you, Amira," he whispered, "not for your wealth, but for your heart." In that moment, Liam shared another truth. He had been taking night classes to become a teacher, hoping to honor his mother's legacy of education. Amira's heart swelled with pride and love, her doubts washed away like footprints in the snow. Then, with a shy smile, Liam revealed one more secret. He had been saving to surprise Amira with a small Christmas gift, a poetry book they'd admired in a bookstore, a token of their shared love for words. The simplicity of his gesture, so pure and heartfelt, brought fresh tears to Amira's eyes. That Christmas Eve, Amira invited Ellen to live with them in their loft. The elderly woman, overwhelmed, accepted, her eyes shining with gratitude. As they returned home, the city aglow with holiday lights, Amira and Liam spoke as they never had before. Amira confessed the weight of society's judgment, how it had clouded her trust. Liam admitted his fear of never measuring up to her world, his worry that his love wouldn't be enough. They vowed to face the future together, their promises woven with a strength forged in vulnerability. "I'll never doubt you again," Amira said, her voice steady as she took Liam's hands. "And I'll love our life, whatever it holds, as long as it's with you." Liam's smile was a beacon in the night. "And I'll always be honest," he replied, "no matter what." Noor, initially resistant, began to thaw as she saw the joy radiating from her daughter. One snowy afternoon, she sat with Ellen in the loft's sunlit living room, the two women sharing stories over steaming cups of tea. In Ellen's eyes, Noor saw the same fierce love she felt for Amira, a love that transcended wealth or status. Slowly, she let go of her prejudices, embracing the family her daughter had chosen. She began to visit more often, her laughter mingling with Ellen's as they swapped tales of their youth, their differences fading like snow in spring. Inspired by Ellen's sacrifices, Amira launched a foundation to provide scholarships for underprivileged students, channeling her wealth into opportunity. Liam, now a teacher at a Brooklyn school, poured his heart into his students, igniting their minds with the same passion his mother had instilled in him. Together they dreamed of a community center in Brooklyn, a place where art, education, and hope would flourish. They named it Beacon, a symbol of light in a city of contrasts. As their work took shape, Amira faced new challenges. The foundation's demands pulled her in 1,000 directions, and whispers from the elite resurfaced, questioning her choice to lower herself. One evening, after a grueling day, Amira sat with Liam in their loft, the city's lights twinkling beyond the window. "Sometimes I wonder if I'm enough," she admitted, her voice small. Liam took her hand, his eyes steady. "You're more than enough," he said. "You're changing lives, and you're my home." His words rekindled her fire, and together they found a new rhythm, balancing their dreams with their love. Years later, their first child, a daughter named Noor, arrived on a quiet Christmas night, her cries a melody in the loft. The Hassan home became a haven of love and purpose, filled with the laughter of little Noor, the wisdom of Ellen, and the growing warmth of Amira's mother. Beacon grew into a vibrant hub, its walls adorned with art, its rooms alive with classes and community. Women and men from Brooklyn's poorest corners found new paths through its programs, their success a testament to Amira and Liam's vision. As little Noor took her first steps, Amira and Liam began to dream bigger. Inspired by their daughter's curious eyes, they envisioned a network of beacons across the city, each a lighthouse for those lost in the shadows of poverty. The project faced skepticism, some called it naive, others a publicity stunt, but Amira and Liam stood firm, their love a shield against doubt. They worked tirelessly, meeting with architects, educators, and community leaders, ensuring every decision reflected their values of equality and hope. On a warm summer evening, a decade after their marriage, the Hassan family gathered in Beacon's community garden, now a lush oasis of roses and jasmine. Little Noor, now 8, chased fireflies with her grandmother Ellen, while Amira's mother, now a doting presence, shared stories with neighbors. Amira and Liam stood hand in hand, watching the scene unfold. "Did you ever think we'd come this far?" Liam asked, his voice soft with wonder. Amira's eyes shimmered with tears of joy. "I knew our love could move mountains," she said, "but this is a world we've built." Their story, born in the glow of Christmas lights, became a legend in New York, a testament to love's power to bridge divides, to heal wounds, and to create change. Beacon stood as a living monument to their journey, proof that true wealth lies not in what we own, but in the connections we forge, the lives we touch, and the legacy we leave behind. And in the heart of the city, under a sky ablaze with stars, Amira and Liam's love continued to shine, a light that no darkness could dim. Lesson learned: this story teaches that love, when anchored in trust, vulnerability, and mutual respect, can transcend societal divides and personal insecurities. It reminds us that true wealth is found in the courage to embrace others' truths, to build bridges across differences, and to create a legacy of compassion, equality, and hope that transforms not just our lives, but the world around us.